What's up guys, my name is Ronnie and welcome to Dem TCG. So in today's video, we're actually going to do a deck profile on my KAIJU CRUSADIA Guardragon build. Let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome to the deck profile. The deck profile I'm going to be showcasing you guys is my KAIJU CRUSADIA Guardragon build. So it's a really fun, not competitive by any means, but it's definitely a very fun rogue deck to play. It can create a pretty insane going first board with infinite negates. And also, it can go for crazy OTKs going second. You can literally hit your opponent with one hit, KOing them with literally 10,000 attack down straight to their life points. So it's pretty insane of a deck. Before we get into it though, make sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe to Dem TCG. We're also doing a very special giveaway for the Dem TCG playmat right here. As you see, once we hit 250 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway. We're not mass producing these playmats. It's a sentimental thing. So there's only going to be 3 ever made. One of the owners is me, and then the other owner is Eric, and then the very last owner is going to be one of you guys if you subscribe and win the 250 subscriber giveaway. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the deck profile. All right, guys. So the very first, we're going to showcase the Crusader lineup. So we're running 3 of each Crusadia, so 3 Maximus, 3 Draco, 3 Arborea, 3 Reclusia, and 3 Leonis. So with each of these monsters, they all share the same primary effect, where if you control a Link monster, you can special summon it to a Link arrow that Link monster points to, and then they have their very own unique secondary effect. So the secondary effect for Maximus is you can target one Crusadia Link monster you control, and it can do double damage when it attacks an opponent's monster. Crusadia Draco, when he's special summoned to a Link arrow, you get to add a Crusadia card from your graveyard to your hand. So it could be either a monster, spell, or a Crusadia trap card. Crusadia Arborea, if a Crusadia were to be destroyed on your field and this card is on the field or in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead of getting the Crusadia monster destroyed. Next, we got Reclusia, where when it's special summoned to a Link arrow, you can target a Crusadia monster you control and an opponent's monster that they control, and then destroy both. And then Crusadia Leonis is similar to Maximus, but instead of doing double damage, it actually does piercing damage when your Crusadia Link monster attacks a defense position monster. Next up, we're running 2 4-month skipper and 3 parallel exceed. So these are basically more extenders for the deck. 4-month skipper is a really good starter. You can go ahead and normal summon him, reveal a Crusadia Link monster that is not Magius, and then it becomes that name. So you can go ahead and link it into a Crusadia Magius. Then it triggers its effect in the graveyard to where you can get your parallel exceed from your deck to your hand, and then you got a parallel exceed for a follow-up on your combo. Next up for our Kaijus, we have 2 Gameciel, 1 Dogaran, 1 Thunder King, and 1 Yugioh. So with the Kaijus, you can obviously, what they do is you can special summon them onto your opponent's side of the field by tributing an opponent's monster they control. And then each of them have unique abilities where if you remove Kaiju counters, you can activate their special ability. So with Gameciel, you run 2 of because he is your Omni negate of the deck. Pretty broken. So if you have Kaiju counters, you can remove 2 whenever an opponent activates a card effect, whether it's a spell, trap card, or monster effect. On the field or in the hand or even on the graveyard, you can negate that effect and banish that monster card, whatever it is. Dogaran, just extra move removal. You don't really be using him too much. Thunder King, he's allowed to attack 3 monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And then Yugioh, when exactly 1 card is targeted, you can activate its effect, removing counters to negate the effect. So really good, really good. And rounding up our monsters, we're running 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Simply for your Guardragon plays, whenever you summon your LP off of your Draco, you can go ahead and special summon this, and then you can make Yugioh through that. Moving on to our field spells, we're running 3 copies of Yugioh Waterfront, 1 copy of Crusadia Revival, and 1 copy of Mystic Mine. Yeah, I know, Mystic Mine. But okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Yugioh Waterfront real quick. Yugioh Waterfront, every time a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, it gains a counter. And once it hits 3 counters, you can add a Kaiju monster from your deck to your hand to easily get your Kaiju straight from your deck. Crusadia Revival, so all Crusadia Link monsters you control gain 500 attack points, and then once per turn, you can target a Crusadia Link monster that you control, and that it's allowed to attack all of your opponent's monsters within that turn. Although it stops every other monster that you control from attacking, the Crusadia Link monster, ideally Crusadia Equimax, is gonna run over your opponent for game with an insane amount of attack. And then lastly, Mystic Mine. Yeah, I know Mystic Mine is not really that fair. It's pretty broken, right? But it is your insurance policy. This being a heavy combo deck, you really need Mystic Mine just so you can have the follow-up for resources moving forward. And then lastly, we're running Terraforming just to search out our field spells, of course. Next, for spells, we're running 2 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, 3 Crusadia Power, and then the 1-ups, we're running 1 Monster Reborn, 1 World Legacy Guardragon, and 1 World Legacy Succession. So Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is basically a Dark Hole, but after you resolve the Dark Hole effect, you can special summon 2 Kaiju monsters, 1 on your side of the field and 1 onto your opponent's side of the field. The only mandatory effect is once that resolves, the Kaiju that you control must enter battle. And then also the turn that you don't use that first effect, if it's in your graveyard, you can actually remove this card from play and search a Kaiju monster straight from your deck. Crusadia Power, basically it's kind of like Called by the Grave for your Crusadia monsters. It is a quick play spell, so what it does is you can target a Crusadia monster that you control, and then it is unaffected by any card effects. And then of course your 1-of extenders, Monster Reborn, self-explanatory. World Legacy Guardragon, you're really only going to use it for Crusadia Draco. And then World Legacy Succession, just basically another Monster Reborn, right? So that's it for our spells. Next up for our traps, we have 1 copy of Crusadia Crawler, 1 copy of Gravedigger's Trap Hole, and then lastly, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So Crusadia Crawler, when you activate it, you can special summon it onto your side of the field. If it's special summoned to a Link Arrow, you get to search for a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. And then Gravedigger's Trap Hole, we run Traptrix Flacia in this deck. So it stops Nibiru's, stops your hand traps. Whatever interaction that your opponent might have in terms of hand traps, this card is definitely the way to go. Then lastly, Infinite Impermanence, just a crazy, insane card. So next up for our Link monsters, let's go over the Crusadia Link monsters first. We got 2 copies of Magius, 1 copy of Regulex, 1 copy of Spatha, and then 2 copies of Equimax. So Crusadia Magius, when a monster is special summoned to its Link Arrow, you get to search for a Crusadia monster straight from your deck to your hand. Crusadia Regulex, when a monster is special summoned to its Link Arrow, you get to search for a Crusadia spell or trap. Crusadia Spatha, when a monster is special summoned to its Link Arrow, you can go ahead and move 1 monster in the main monster zone. And then lastly, Crusadia Equimax, basically an Omni Negate. You can tribute 1 Crusadia monster it points to and negate 1 face-up card your opponent controls. What they all share in common is they gain the attack of any monster that it points to. So let's say you have Kaijus, right? It gains the attack points of all the Kaiju monsters that it points to. So it's pretty insane. These cards can get pretty beefy. Next up for our dragons, we're running 1 copy of LP, 1 copy of Saryuja, and 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon. So LP, basically you can easily make it with Draco, and then you can special summon your red MD. Saryuja is your follow-up to that, where you get a free draw 4, and then return 3 to the bottom of your deck. Also, it's a free special summon from your hand to the field. Then lastly, Triple Burst Dragon, just in case your LP gets negated somehow. This is what Triple Burst Dragon is really for. Next up, we're running 1 copy of Link Spider for Nibiru and 1 copy of Salamangreat Homirage. just so in case they stop the 4 Skipper, this is what Almirage is for. And then lastly, our very own Access Code Talker, really insane card. You run different attributes in your extra deck, and you can really just clear out your opponent's board, and it's an insane follow-up, like going on a 3rd turn. For synchros, we're just running the 1 FA Dawn Dragster, then lastly Best Dweller and Traptrix Rafflesia for your XCs. FA Dawn Dragster is a spell trap negate. Best Dweller is a lingering effect where your opponent cannot activate card effects in the graveyard. Then lastly, Traptrix Rafflesia, simply just for the Grave Digger's trap hole. I really hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you like it, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe to DemTCG. Remember, we're doing this 250 subscriber giveaway for this very playmat. So with that being said, my name is Ronnie, and this is DemTCG. See you guys.